The holographic display flickered in the command center of the Galactic Concordance flagship Eternal Harmony. Fleet Admiral Zekthar's three eyes widened in disbelief as he processed the intelligence report before him. "You sent troops to Earth?" His voice was barely audible, a rasping whisper that carried the weight of impending catastrophe. "A Deathworld?" Commander Vrilnax, his subordinate, shifted uncomfortably on his hover pad. "Sir, the humans refused our annexation terms. Protocol demanded—" "Protocol?" Zekthar's scales flushed a deep crimson. "Tell me, Commander, did you bother to read the full xenological assessment? Or did you simply see pre-FTL civilization and assume easy conquest?" The commander's silence was answer enough. Zekthar pulled up Earth's classification file, the red warning symbols pulsing ominously across the screen. Class 12 Deathworld. Do you understand what that means? There are only 43 Class 12 worlds in the entire documented galaxy. Most species consider them uninhabitable. He gestured at the data streaming across the display. Earth's gravity is 1.3 times what we consider standard. The atmospheric oxygen content is so high it's practically combustible. The planet is tectonically unstable, prone to volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. It has violent weather patterns, hurricanes with winds that exceed our military aircraft velocities. And the native fauna? Zekthar's voice cracked with something between awe and terror. "Commander, Earth has apex predators in nearly every ecosystem. Multiple apex predators, sometimes competing for the same territory." Vrilnax's confidence was crumbling. "But they're primitives. They don't even have plasma weapons or shield technology." "Primitives?" Zekthar pulled up another file. These primitives evolved alongside creatures that could tear through reinforced steel with their bare claws. Their planet tried to kill them for 3 million years, and they thrived. They domesticated the descendants of their apex predators and turned them into companions. They consume chemical compounds that would be lethal poisons to 90% of concordant species. For recreation. He zoomed in on a specific section. Their endurance capabilities alone are terrifying. Humans can regulate their body temperature through liquid secretion, allowing them to pursue prey until it literally dies of exhaustion. They're one of only 4 species in the known galaxy, capable of persistence hunting, and unlike the others, they then developed ranged weapons to make the process more efficient. "Sir, our troops have superior technology." "Technology?" Zekthar interrupted. "Let me tell you about human technology. Yes, they lack FTL drives and energy shields, but do you know what they do have? Chemical propellant weapons that function in any environment. Underwater, in vacuum, in radiation zones where our plasma rifles would fail. Explosive compounds stable enough to store for decades but powerful enough to level buildings. And they've spent their entire recorded history perfecting the art of killing each other." The Admiral pulled up historical records. They've had 2 planetary-scale conflicts in just the last 100 cycles. 2. The casualty counts exceed the entire population of some Concordance member worlds. They developed atomic weapons and used them on themselves. And then, instead of destroying their entire species, they simply made rules about not using them again and moved on. Vrilnax was trembling now. "How many troops did I send?" 10,000 of our finest soldiers." Zekthar's voice was hollow. "Against a species that numbers 8 billion. 8 billion Deathworlders who have been training to kill since they lived in caves." A priority alert flashed across the screen. Zekthar opened it, his heart sinking as he read. "Your landing force made contact 3 hours ago. They issued an ultimatum to the local military installation, a place called Fort Bragg. And?" Vrilnax asked weakly. "The humans laughed at them." Zekthar scrolled through the combat reports, his expression growing darker. Then they mobilized. "Commander, your troops have atmospheric superiority, energy shields, and plasma weapons. The humans have creativity." The reports were fragmentary, panicked. Human aircraft, crude chemical thrust vessels, had adapted their anti-ship missiles on the fly. Ground forces were using improvised electromagnetic pulse devices that somehow disrupted concordant shields. And then there were the humans themselves, one of your battalion. Commanders reported encountering a human soldier who continued fighting after sustaining injuries that would have killed any concordant species 3 times over. Zekthar read aloud. "The human lost significant blood volume, suffered multiple projectile wounds, and still managed to eliminate 7 of our troops before finally collapsing. Even then, medical teams were able to stabilize it. He looked up at Vrilnax. They heal, Commander. These Deathworld inhabitants have medical technology that can bring their warriors back from injuries that would be fatal to us. Because on their world, evolution demanded they be that resilient. Another alert. Zekthar felt his main heart skip a beat as he read it. They've captured one of our dropships, intact. Commander, we've been in their system for less than 4 hours and they're already reverse engineering our technology. Can we extract our forces? Vrilnax's voice was small, defeated. The humans have issued a planetary broadcast, Zekthar said, pulling up the translation. They're offering our troops 2 options. Surrender and receive treatment under something called the Geneva Conventions, or continue fighting. He paused, a grim smile crossing his features. Commander, do you know what the Geneva Conventions are? They're rules of war. These humans, these primitives, created an entire framework for how to conduct warfare ethically. They made killing each other into a science with rules, and now they're offering to extend those same courtesies to us. Vrilnax slumped in his hover pad. What have I done? You started a war with a species that has been at war with their own planet since before our civilization achieved spaceflight, Zekthar said quietly. A species that looks at a Class 12 Deathworld and calls it home. A species that has 8 billion warriors who don't even realize they're warriors because to them, survival is just normal. He began issuing orders rapidly. Open all channels to Earth, unconditional surrender. Full withdrawal of forces. And Commander? Zekthar fixed all 3 eyes on his subordinate. Pray that the humans are as civilized as their Geneva Conventions suggest. Because if they decide to leave their death world and come for us, he gestured at Earth rotating peacefully on the display, its blue oceans and green continents hiding the deadly truth beneath. There isn't a force in this galaxy that could stop them.